With our newfound understanding of physical lights, let's now use one to illuminate our scene. By navigating to the top left corner, we can click Edit, Add Light, Spotlight. The spotlight is just like any other object in KeyShot in that we can use the Move tool to manipulate its position. One important thing to note, before proceeding, I'm going to initiate KeyShot's progressive denoise. Next, by utilizing the Move tool, we can begin to reposition this light. By jumping into our top-down camera, we can make this process even easier. After clicking and dragging the Move tool's translation functionality, we can then reposition ourselves in the 3D viewport and proceed to rotate the spotlight. After a few more positional adjustments, we can jump back into our main camera, only to see that the spotlight needs to be adjusted once more. Switching the Move tool to the global axis makes it easier to rotate the light's position. This helps prevent the edge of the spotlight from appearing in the frame.
Now that our spotlight is properly positioned, let's add a gobo onto the spotlight in order to enhance our scene. This is a gobo. A gobo is a metal plate which can contain various cutout designs. Here we have a real-world photography setup using a spotlight. You could adjust the spotlight's fall off, but what if you want to push the lighting further and introduce more visual interest? By adding a gobo in front of a spotlight, you can control the shape of the projected light. Here's an example of the result. The scene immediately feels more engaging. Because gobos come in many different cutout patterns, they open up a wide range of creative possibilities. They can shape the mood of a scene in subtle or dramatic ways, depending on how you use them. After seeing how gobos can be used in a real lighting setup, let's now translate that into a digital workflow. KeyShot Studio can be used to create the same effects, but with more control and none of the physical constraints. Okay, let's talk about how to do that.
Reproducing gobo lighting in KeyShot requires only a few steps, allowing you to project pattern light and shadow just like in a real photo studio. The first step in this process is to double-click into your spotlight in order to access its settings. Once inside the spotlight settings, click into the Textures tab and click on the box named Color. In real life, metal discs are needed to block the spotlight's beam, but in KeyShot Studio, all you need is an image texture. After selecting an image on our PC, all of the light from our spotlight appears to be blocked. This is simply a scaling issue. By clicking into the spotlight's properties, we could adjust the color stencil diameter. After typing in a larger value here, we could start to see the effect take shape. After zooming in and letting the scene res up for a second, our gobo could still be adjusted further. You may want to manipulate this gobo further. To do this, click on your spotlight from the scene tree, and then select into the material graph. The material graph will be explained in detail in subsequent lessons. But for now, right-click on the node connection, and after hovering over Utilities, select Color to Number. Adding this node and adjusting the output to value allows us to manipulate the gobo texture. Again, more on this later. Our work with the spotlight is now complete. Before adding our next light to the scene, let's drag in an all-black HDRI. Next step here is to navigate to the top left of the interface in order to add an area light to our scene. Let's bring this light up vertically and then hold Shift while rotating with the Move tool in order to rotate this light 180 degrees. As always, tweaking the scale and position of any lights are always going to be part of the process in moving towards a well-done 3D rendering. With a few more adjustments, our area light is now set in place. After double-clicking into the area light to bring up its settings, the next step here is to increase the light's power value. One thing you may be thinking at this point is that this spotlight here is kind of distracting. To hide this light to the view but ensure that it's still producing light in our scene, click on View and then uncheck Show Light Sources. We can also click into our area light to hide this light as well. If we keep this light visible and then jump back into our camera, what we'll find is that the area light is actually visible in the scene. So let's uncheck the Visible to Camera option to hide this light. Now, before moving on, our glow is looking a little too strong around our lamps. Let's go back into the Image tab in order to reduce the bloom intensity. We could also increase the threshold to sharpen up the non-glowing parts.